If you're ready, I'm ready. Welcome back, everyone. So we're already ready to go. We have this here, which is the M1-Carbine, specifically a reproduction by Ordnance. They make a handful of reproductions, this being their most basic option. They have a parachute version as well, although that's not the one I have. Despite being a reproduction, this one is a little dated. This one I got used, so it's got a little bit of age on it, but nowhere near as much as the originals were. Coming up on what, 80 years old now? So yeah, let's go over it real quick. This is pretty standard stuff. It came with a 15 round magazine like was standard at the beginning of its issuance in World War II, 80 years ago now. And I also have these, which did not come with it. These are reproductions from Korea. Ironically enough, that means both where they were used and where this one was made. These technically came out of World War II, but they're more synonymous with usage in the Korean War before we got rid of this thing in Vietnam. And I also made sure to get these because this mag is kind of old, and one thing I've learned about M1 carbines is their magazines are the Achilles heel of the entire system. The first thing to go is going to be your magazine. These things need to be replaced fairly often if you're using them. The issue being that the smallest damage to the spring and the trajectory of the rounds going in seems to have a profound effect. Meanwhile, everything else seems to be fine. But that's just what I've heard and what I've kind of observed shooting it myself. Now, yeah. So I have 3 of these and 1 of these. 30 rounders were a little bit more useful than 15 rounds. This 15 rounder, because it's kind of funky, I'm only going to load up to 10 rounds because, you know, it's old. It doesn't quite work the best. I've tried shooting it with a full 15 and it jams up. So let's try that real quick. So while I'm loading up, I just wanted to give you a quick look at the 30 carbine cartridge, which would be this John right here. So as you can see, it's kind of just like an extended pistol case in 30 caliber. Straight walled, nothing fancy. This is World War II tech we're talking here. Nothing like crazy, not getting like 6.8 performance or anything. As a matter of fact, this is a bit smaller than 5.56. But most people generally consider this a rifle cartridge, even though it is kind of pistol-esque. Arguably, this could be the first mass-issued assault rifle, if you consider the M2 carbine to be that. Although I've also heard people call it a submachine gun, so people seem to be all over the place on what they call this thing. So if you want to come to your own conclusions, you're perfectly free to. So, this is ready to go. I got the magazine here filled up to 10. I just wanted to go over the safety options real quick. So, M1 carbines, like most wartime firearms in general, are inconsistent. Some have this 1022 style safety here, or I guess this is the 1022 has this kind of safety. Other ones have a more M1 Garand style where it's in the trigger group, and then a lot of them seem to have a toggle that spins. And then the magazine release, from what I understand, is not the same on all of them, but this seems to be the most common type. If you have A1 models, which this one isn't, it will have a bayonet lug up top, because they went from this being an emergency weapon to the primary weapon that they were issuing. And then, yeah. I'm not sure if the sights are different on any of them, but this one's got the Just random little sights here, nothing fancy. This was not a long-range gun. It was a, oops, someone's behind our defensive line. We need to go get our office people shooting. Until everyone realized how great this is. This is arguably the best weapon in World War II. For the individual, at least. So yeah, as you may know, Command Action, basically an AK, but better. And let's load up. Oh, I already get jammed. Told you this mag sucked. Okay. If you're ready, I'm ready. Told you this mag sucked. Also, you may, I don't know if it shows up well on camera, but the gas smokes out through here. This is the exhaust for the gas, which is like right in here. This mag sucks. Basically a bolt action. Australia compliant. This thing just hates this fucking mag. If I let the recoil go, it seems to go a little bit better. But I don't know what's up with this mag. I'm going to toss this aside. And we're going to say hello to the Korean one, which I haven't tested yet, but should work better. Or not, maybe the gun's broken, I might need new springs. This is used after all. Yeah, I think the gun's just busted. Yeah, that's what I get for buying used guns. That being said, World War II surplus is going to be even older. The spring I would need is probably this one right here. I can imagine that's probably the issue. From what I understand, those aren't expensive. There's a company that makes them. It's like Wolf something. But let's try to get through the rest of this mag. Try something. This thing just does not work. Oh, failure to... Maybe if I fold up the magazine. 9. You see, this thing's not turning out so well. So I'm starting to revert to German. Sorry you had to watch bolt action footage, I guess. It's got one cycle up there, another set of cycles, but this mag is a little bit fucky. at least holds open. Mind you, this does have a bolt hole open. So yeah, as I said, these fucking magazines are the Achilles heel of this gun. These things will fucking kill anything. This thing definitely needs like a regular spring replacement, but I can tell this magazine was a bit of an issue because it definitely was causing some of the issues. Just trying to mess with it, trying to fix it, I saw that this was not exactly perfect. But yeah, stories of World War II, I remember people saying they had to get these magazines replaced on like a bi-weekly basis. That's like not perfect by modern standards, but back then that was acceptable for what they were getting. Now nowadays, should you get one of these, if you're like looking for something like maybe like you're in assault weapons ban state, you need something inoffensive like this. And I'd honestly recommend going with like a Ruger. Like a Mini 14, Mini 30. I would just recommend Mini 30 off the bat, but I know those don't have 30 round mags, from Ruger at least. Meanwhile the 14 does. Yeah, unless you get like a, one that will run right, everyone's got like the springs running and you get a good source for magazines, I can't really recommend this. Like if you buy a Repro, that's fine, but you're really going to have to keep an eye on those magazines, because even modern reproduction ones don't last nearly as long as, say, an AR mag will. So, all in all, it's aesthetic. It's fun to mess with the action, but when it comes to like actually being useful for potentially saving your life, but if you're like just like World War II shit and you don't mind this being a reproduction, that's like fine. This thing was way cheaper than some of those originals are starting to get up to. I've seen those things hit well over $1,000. This thing only retails new for $900. So yeah, it's a shame this thing doesn't work perfectly. However, it's neat. It'd be neater if it worked properly, but beggars can't be choosers, I guess, and I can't afford the Primo like new with a gazillion brand new magazines. But yeah, it's a neat collector's piece. I don't think you should use it for self-defense if you have to. It's going to get one shot off, if even that. Because if you're like on a cold chamber and you try to rack that, that could cause problems right off the bat. And if you need to like fight off someone, that's going to potentially be the last few seconds you're going to witness. So yeah, moral of the story. Wall hanger, if you need something for self-defense, buy like an AR. If you're in a banned state, I'd say a Mini 30, Mini 14. But all in all, if you like the grand action, you'll at least have fun messing with it. So yeah. So my apologies for not having the most entertaining video of the channel. I was hoping that would go better. I have had it shoot more reliably, and there was a disappointment that the Korean mag didn't quite work out. I'm definitely going to have to revisit this when I can get my hands on replacement parts, but I apologize for the accidental bolt action footage. I was hoping we would get something a bit more exciting, but beggars can't be choosers, I guess. And I'll have something more exciting for you next time, so if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, where you should have something fun coming out for Halloween. And just make sure you enjoy your day.